Welcome back to Ball Talk with me, Lewis Bryon, and today for our second Arsenal episode, I'm joined by footballer Ken Charles and presenter Noah Jones. Boys, we're going to be talking about Arsenal's game against Villa, our 2-0 win, and looking ahead to our fixture Saturday midday against Brighton at the Emirates. So, what was your thoughts on the Arsenal-Villa game? We won 2-0, it was away from home of course. General thoughts on the game?
Not an easy game to win. First of all, and if you look at last season's results, Villa killed us. The only team to take 6 points off us. So a 2-0 win at Villa Park, I mean, unreal result, right?
Yeah, definitely. Ken, what do you think?
Yeah, for me, it's all about the result. Considering they took 6 points from us last season, I think everything this season, especially going into that first away game against them, would have been about at least getting something from the game. And you can't really go wrong with winning 2-0 away from home anywhere in the Premier League, let alone at Villa Park. So that's a good result for me.
Yeah, I always think, like, if I look back 3-4 years ago, that result against against Villa, we probably would have, I don't want to say lost, but we wouldn't. I don't think we would have scored 2 goals. You know, we had 2 big chances against us, didn't we? With Ollie Watkins, with both of them. One was pretty much an open goal, and then the header that Raya made a really good save with. And I feel like that would have disrupted the way we wanted to play 3-4 years ago. This current Arsenal team just don't seem to happen. Every single game we play, we seem to be confident regardless of how it starts, regardless if it starts shaky. We still play the way we want to play. And helps us get the win, doesn't it?
Absolutely. I think you could look back, like you say, 4 years ago, find a game that started exactly like that, and see our mentality just dip, heads go, bottle job FC. But these days, it's a different mentality that Arteta's instilled.
Yeah, we've shaken that bottle job thing's gone now. Like, I think even from outside fans, it's gone.
I hope so.
I don't want to jinx it, but
we'll see.
Yeah,
no, but do you think from outside fans that's gone? Like, do you think fans still look at Arsenal?
They're always going to label us as that until we win something.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if you look at it from reality, I don't think that's the case. I don't think we bottled anything last season, and I don't think currently we look like a team that would bottle winning positions in a game like that. When was the last time that's happened? But I think until you back it up with some silverware, it's always gonna linger around. So
yeah, I just have people's opinions in my head of, like, Arsenal were first for a period, so in that sense they bottled it.
What, last season?
Yeah,
but no one said that about Liverpool.
Yeah,
no one said that about Liverpool.
Exactly.
It's Arsenal, isn't it? It's Arsenal.
Liverpool
we got
was top for a long time.
Yeah.
We was top for a couple of weeks. So
it's revenge this season, man. I'm telling you.
Yeah, it is. I'm up for it.
Yeah. Let's go on to Raya's save. Yeah, because it was an unbelievable save. One of the best I've ever seen in a game.
It's a top save. Yeah.
What are your thoughts on it? Do you think it's got, obviously it's save of the season now? We're 2 weeks in.
Yeah.
But do you think it's got legs to keep that title?
I think it has. I think, first of all, that's 2 weeks in a row he's kept us in the game. There were 2 unbelievable saves. And look, Ken, as a striker, I'm sure you'll say he should have scored.
I'm saying that's an unreal save.
Yeah?
I'm saying
fan. He's a very
well, firstly that, but I'm just putting it into context. He's followed up so well, and in that position, he's just thinking, get good contact on that ball and hit the target. It's a goal. And 99 times out of 100, the keeper's not doing that.
Because he's on the floor.
Because he's on the floor, and he's just not getting up. So, like, if you want to be ultra critical, you can say he should have, made sure he kept it as far away from Raya as possible. But you then, you look at the miss he's done in the first half. That's because he's tried to hit the corners.
That's
and he's missed. So it's it's very difficult to be ultra critical. If he misses the target there with that header by trying to hit the corner, he gets slated.
People are going to say just get it on target.
So
that is a very good point.
I think he's very unlucky with the header. I think he's got to score the first chance, but the header, that save is as good as it gets. Really, I'm not really blaming him for that.
It's so explosive and agile. And I saw
that's where it was.
The little Gary Neville pod that he does at the stadium after, and he said when they're at United, they would do 0 to 5 metre sprints, 0 to 10 metre sprints, and he said the keepers were always the fastest over the shortest distance.
Just look how he's got up there. It's mad.
It's ridiculous.
It's
from the floor to jump back up.
I think pretty much as Watkins is about to get contact, he's on the floor.
Yeah.
And then before you know it, he's just sprung up and still got a strong hand to it. So
and people say that he hit it at the keeper. It was a reaction save, wasn't it?
He didn't. He's actually outreached for that. He hasn't just hit him. He's gone, like you said, reaction save. Yeah. So it currently is save of the season, and it will be right up there till the end. We'll have to see if someone can bear that.
And if that goes in 1-0 down at Villa Park,
It's a completely different game.
It's nasty.
You need your keeper to do that in title races. You need your keeper to basically get you 2 extra points or 3 extra points in games. He's dug us out of trouble twice now. Obviously, you don't want that situation to keep going week on week, but every now and then you are going to look at your keeper to pull something big out of the bag, and he's done that so far.
Yeah, and I remember, I think it was Frank Lampard or John Terry, one of them said
about Cech
that, you know, a top keeper like Cech, like Raya, will get you an extra 15 points a season, which can be the difference, especially when you're competing against a team like City.
It's clean sheets, isn't it?
Yeah, it's clean sheets.
Keep clean sheets, then we've got enough players to win games 1-0, 2-0. We will score goals.
Yeah.
So the clean sheet's probably the foundation that we've got now. Yeah,
and he's proven Arteta's decision right when everyone was a bit sceptical. You know?
Over time, 100%.
Yeah, like he's come in and he said, like, we got 2 number ones. He didn't really mean that, did he?
He didn't.
And he's he knew Raya was going to be his number one. He stuck by his guns, and Raya's got Golden Glove. Last year he got Golden Glove, team of the season. Yep. And now he's pulling off saves to keep us in games.
Played like 10 less games as well last season.
Yeah, it's mad.
Do you think Ramsdale was clapping the save again on the bed?
I don't know. He's gonna be in a dark place.
Is he going?
I think he's got some interest from, what was it, Wolves and someone else. I don't know if he's going to go. You think he needs to?
Yeah, I like him. I hope he goes and plays.
Yeah, he's top. Like, until Raya came in, we weren't in a position where we was thinking we need a keeper. Obviously, Arteta's seen a slight gap that he can fill, and probably with the ability to get him in on loan last season and then pay the 30 million or whatever, that probably made it doable for him, and it's proven to be a slight, improvement in that department. So it's those small improvements can be the difference at the end of the season.
Yeah. Let's go on to Martinelli, okay? Because Martinelli didn't have his greatest game. He's not had his greatest game for a few weeks now. And Trossard come on and was same old Trossard. Got a goal, was electric, very clever movement, looked lively. What's going wrong with Martinelli? What's the solution?
It's weird, isn't it? Because it never really clicked since he came back from that little injury last season, when he was out for a bit of time, and Trossard just made himself the left winger. Anyone that knows me knows that I love Trossard. I think he's the boy. I think he's not got your explosive pace. He's not going to be able to do skills around 4 players, but he's so technically gifted, such a good finisher. I think his quality. The Martinelli thing, is it confidence? Does one goal change it as a striker? Do you think one goal and he's on?
It's all about confidence, and like at the minute you can just see it's just not clicking for him. I think he needs a goal or something to happen for him to just get back into gear, because we saw like that 2 seasons ago. He was one of our top 3 players that season. He scored 15 Prem goals that season. You don't become a poor player overnight. He probably just needs something to bring that confidence back and get him going again. But for now, I think Trossard's showing that he's currently the one performing a lot better in that position. Not obviously just this season, the back end of last season as well. And I think he's done enough, in my opinion, to start getting that shirt. And Martinelli is a top player. We can't just give up on him. But that's what we need a squad for. You need a big squad to go for Prems, to go for Champions Leagues and stuff like that. So I don't mind being in a situation where the original left winger is struggling right now, but we've got someone who's absolutely a joke. He comes in, and then we hope that Martinelli can now find that confidence and give Trossard that competition that we need for that position.
Does the Martinelli thing change because if you look at the sides of our pitch, Saka has Odegaard and Ben White supplying him, right? Who does Martinelli really have? Does that change when we have a proper playmaking left centre mid like Marino might be?
You could say yes, potentially to an extent, but I don't think
Rice supplies him, but he doesn't. They don't have the same thing week in, week out like they do on the right side with Ben White.
They have a chemistry there. There's no
3
doubt
of them. They're always playing
They've
together.
always played,
Where it's 1 and 2, and Martinelli doesn't always start, does he? So it's pretty much Declan Rice, Martinelli, left backs interchanging, and doesn't really bomb on that much.
But Trossard comes on in the same position.
Yeah, very true. Yeah, it's a great point.
So it's I don't think that's the issue. I think it's probably a Martinelli issue right now, and I think he's a top player. It's just about confidence, and hopefully he can pick himself up. It's only 2 games into the season.
Yeah, and the fan base doesn't need to get onto him because
not at all.
In a title race, as you say, when some players aren't performing, the other players pick it up, and then you hope at some point in the season that can change.
100%.
So I don't think it's an issue.
It's not an issue.
Trossard may start next game. Fair play, he deserves it. If Martinelli starts, I'm fine with it.
And it comes back to squad depth. If we literally just had Martinelli now, then perhaps it would be an issue because you're now looking and thinking, right, he's got to click into gear. Otherwise, our left wingers, we've not got any quality.
Bumps
there.
up, and that's when the fans do get onto him.
Yes. But right now, it's a case of if Arteta genuinely wants to stick with him, he knows ball, so there must be something he's seeing. If he goes for Trossard now, who's come on and proven himself again and again, then again, it's good. I think that's just good.
So win-win, really.
Yeah, it's a win-win. If he goes with Martinelli, then he's seeing something that Martinelli's doing. If Trossard comes and plays and does what he does, we're happy. I don't think it's an issue whatsoever.
Yeah, I just want to talk about Roger for. Is it Roger for Villa?
Rogers,
yeah. He looked good. He looked good. Yeah. And our midfield, Partey, Declan Rice. I thought they did well, but they did look a little laboured at times, didn't they? And it's something we spoke about last week. The international break, has it had an effect on them? Is it something to be worried about, like our midfield being a bit laboured and Rodgers having a lot of success against them?
If we hadn't have just signed another midfielder, I would be a little bit worried because I'm not Partey's biggest fan. I don't know if he's got the legs to run it in a title race anymore. Declan Rice is quality and covers so much ground, but there's only a certain amount of time someone can do that for. So deputising with another midfielder, I'm all over. Rodgers looked unreal. Yeah. I've never really taken much notice of him. He looked so good, and I love Declan Rice, but he turned him a few times, didn't he? He was quality in midfield, and that could have been where we lost the game, I think, in the midfield, because I believe they had the better of us for a lot of it, and he was the main guy.
Yeah, their XG was higher, wasn't it? Their XG was like 1.8. We were 1.2, I think. I don't like looking too much into that, but they created more chances.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll go off on midfield. We'll talk a bit more positively about Saliba. Okay, he is ridiculous, first of all, and he's just proven himself week in, week out now. Where is his level, do you think, at the moment, compared to all the other centre-backs in the world?
Oh, it's really hard because straight away, I go one of the best.
Yeah.
I
agree.
If not the best.
I mean, who's better than him at the moment?
That's why I mean, saying he's one of the best in the world, no one can argue that.
No. Yeah.
Saying he's top 3 in the world, probably no one can argue with that.
Yeah.
Is he the best?
Is he the best? And obviously there's always going to be a conversation to be had. And it's hard. It's hard because you can say the Arsenal team is also one of the best in Europe.
True.
And that helps every individual look a lot better than others. But I don't know, man. Like, he had a very good game at the weekend. If he replicates the standards of last season again this season, then, I think people can stop being afraid of putting those kind of labels. I think obviously when someone does it once, people are kind of hesitant to say, yeah, he's the best in the world. Rightly so, because being the best in the world isn't just about having a couple of good performances. It's about being very good for a season, 2 seasons, 3 seasons in a row. But he's started this season off exactly where he left off last year. And if he carries on like that, there's no reason why anyone should be afraid to label him as that.
I think he's so good, and I think the main thing we're talking about here is that recovery run.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Mate, that's a goal.
There's nothing he doesn't have. That's the thing. Like, he's so composed on the ball. He's like, he reads the game well. If you're in danger like that, he can come back. Like,
but the thing is, everyone talks about like his speed, his strength, and his composure on the ball. But like you said, he reads the game so well.
Yeah,
there was a point in the game where their left winger had the ball, like he's cut it back, but just before he's cut it back, Saliba's made like a 15-yard dart towards the edge of their box before he's done it, just read it and intercepted the ball. Like, he has that side of the game as well that no one really talks about.
As a centre-half, obviously you played centre-half, you're looking for... What are you looking for in a centre-half to say he's like the best?
Yeah.
Like, how are you comparing them compared to everyone else that just...
The number one thing is how well you can read the game.
Yeah.
100%, because you don't... Pace is good if you can't read the game well.
Yeah,
You look at John Terry, he had no pace.
Yeah.
But he just read the game well. He never really got beat in a 1v1 situation. That's what I look for. And then I just look for a bit of composure and finesse on the ball. Someone who can progress the ball and break lines, and he can do that. And then you see people praise the strength and the pace. But that's for me, that's only needed when you haven't got the other stuff.
But that's what makes him the complete package,
exactly.
Isn't it? Because he has that. Because you get a lot of centre halves that are fast, strong, like powerful, but they don't read the game very well. They get in trouble a lot and are relying on their pace to get them back and stuff like that. He's not that. Like he's really got everything like a John Terry has in terms of reading the game, in terms of being, you know, calm and composed. But every now and then someone's going to be in, and he's the kind of centre half. Like you wouldn't want John Terry in that situation.
No, that's what I mean. It wouldn't be John Terry's fault. Is what I'm
not saying it wouldn't be his fault. Like someone's messed up and the guy's
but he's not getting
but he's not coming back.
That's what I'm saying. So
whereas you've got someone now that someone messes up and someone's in on goal, you can look at him and say he's gonna at least be there to put pressure on him at the end.
Yeah, he can cover other people's mistakes.
Yes, and that's then it's like, okay, what does he not have?
No, he's got it all. He has really.
As a defender,
yeah,
obviously he won the ball, so it wasn't a reckless challenge to make. Is that a mental challenge to make? Because that can go so wrong. No, running at however fast he was running, clattering him.
Yeah, to me, he would have been 100% sure he's getting the ball.
Right, okay.
He really would have.
Okay.
As a forward, I'd say that the last touch before Saliba's tackle, he's killed himself.
Yeah.
Like and then Saliba's obviously seen that now, and he knows he's getting that. I think that last touch. I think had he driven into the box with better control of the ball, then Saliba's not flying in like that either. Yeah. He's not stupid. I think he's seen that touch and known, okay, now that's a 50-50 ball. Yeah. I'm getting there first, and he got there first comfortably.
Decision that
it's
quick
a sharp
as well.
Decision,
because he would have been in that situation so many times.
Yes,
so he's second nature now. He knows the timing, how long it will take to get there, the tackle, all of that. We'll leave the Villa game. We'll go on to looking ahead towards Brighton, because Brighton have had a good start. They beat, was it West Ham 3-0, Brighton 2, Man United 2-1. Sorry. With a late goal. I watched that game. That was a great game. Yeah. I love seeing United's downfall. Like, I actually do.
I'm here for
I really do. All the years they tormented us. But anyway, what are you expecting from that game? Because on paper it looks like it should be a tough game, but I don't think it will be that tough.
Do you not?
No, not at home. Not for Arsenal. I feel like they're quite open, and I thought United's defence was quite open, which made Brighton look quite good. I don't know. What are your thoughts on it?
Yeah, I think Brighton are a good side, have been for a few years. Had a little drop off last season, I think. But like you say, they've started the season fantastically well. They've made some great signings and they spent quite a bit of money. New manager, so everything is new. So there definitely will be a chance to get at them. But also, then you have to be wary of them as well. Because, look, Man United aren't playing great, but they're not a bad side. And Brighton beat them at the weekend.
Yeah, they're not a bad side, but, I mean, did you see their goal? They conceded at the end. Like, the defenders, the ball's gone. The defenders just all glued onto the ball.
Yeah.
Like, that is amateur stuff. Yeah. It really is.
Man United aren't a great side.
They're not at the moment, are they?
They're not a great side. Like, obviously, Brighton had to turn up and beat them, and Brighton are a good side. But, like, I don't think beating United at home is, like, something that Arsenal should be afraid of at the weekend, and think they haven't done anything that I think is, too difficult. I don't think, that's not trying to disrespect United. I just don't think they're at a level now where they can, like you said, that goals like that shouldn't be going. Like, you shouldn't be conceding goals like that at the time as well.
It is embarrassing, that.
So, if they're not going to come to Arsenal and score goals like that. So if we can, be as solid as we usually are at the back in terms of seeing them out, like you said, I think they were a bit open. And you can't be like that against Arsenal. Otherwise, there's players that will punish. So I expect Arsenal to win. Again, I don't expect it to be an easy game, but I expect Arsenal to win fairly comfortably.
Yeah. Well, Brighton, like we said, they've scored a decent amount of goals, and there are a few players that are in good form now. I've liked the look of João Pedro. Danny Welbeck's back in, back in good form, consistent form. Do you think they're players to be worried about? I mean, they've got a good Minter, is it? Their new signing as well, who's looking good. Billy Gilmore's, sort of creeping back up to where he was when he first burst on the scene. What do you think? Players to be worried about?
I like the look at João Pedro. I think he's a good striker, lively. And I think as a striker, you have to be as lively as possible.
Good, yeah.
When you look at players like Welbeck, again, no disrespect to Welbeck and what a career he has had.
Yeah. But you're going to disrespect him.
We should. Look, I'm not going to. I am going to disrespect him. No, we shouldn't be worried. I'm going to regret this massively. Shouldn't be worried about going against Danny Welbeck. I think you can be wary of players like João Pedro, Billy Gilmore, but you shouldn't be going into a game thinking, Danny Welbeck causes problems, because he shouldn't be causing us problems if our main aim is the title.
Yeah.
I think if we defend as we usually do, he doesn't cause us problems. I think
Welbeck.
Yeah, I think if we make any individual errors, then obviously he will capitalise on those, and that's where he's punished United, he's punished teams like that. But if we defend as we have done as a whole with no silly mistakes, Welbeck isn't someone we should be going into a game thinking, okay, we're playing Danny Welbeck today.
Yeah. Okay.
And that's, again, it's far from, that's not disrespect to him, because he's obviously at the back end of his career now. At one point he was a big problem in the Premier League.
Yeah.
It's just right now, like you said, if the title is your ambitions, then you should be able to cope with players like that.
Yeah, he does pick up goals though, where like you don't think he's being a big nuisance during the game, and then he just picks up a goal.
He knows how to find the back of the net, and that's why I said if we make any mistakes, he will punish.
Yeah,
smart, isn't he? Experienced.
He will punish, and there's no doubt about that. But usually, I mean, the centre back pairing don't give it strikers a yard all game. So if they can replicate that sort of form, then he shouldn't cause us any problems.
Yeah, I mean, the João Pedro's been playing like a bit deeper, like 10, which I don't know. You're not a fan of Partey, are you? A little concerned there.
Yeah, I am. That's what I mean. When you have a lively striker, second striker at 10, whatever, I don't like watching Partey up against them. I think, like you quite like the way he played the other day. On the ball, he can be composed. In transition, I just don't trust him to be doing the interceptions and the blocks like he did a couple of seasons ago,
isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
That's why you've got the pairing. I think they complement each other perfectly, because I agree, in transition, Rice is probably the best in the league in terms of who you'd want either getting back or making interceptions and stuff like that. But in terms of progressing the ball in maybe against a low block, Partey is
better than Rice at that.
And to be that deepest man, I think you need a Partey type, you need perhaps a Jorginho type. Otherwise, you struggle to unlock teams, and that's where I think they complement each other perfectly. Like, one's better at one thing, but the other person's better at the other thing.
Sense.
So,
before we get on to our predictions and who we think should start, I just want to talk about their manager, because I've coached the Palace Academy for 2 years, and then I've obviously been around loads of coaches as well as a player, and the players will judge the manager like the first training session, the first meeting, the first week, instantly, whether they like the manager or not. And the fact he's only 31, and a lot of the players will be older than him, or a good majority. He's got such a big job to try and make that good first impression, because it's going to be so easy for them to dislike him, especially the ones he's not picking. So, like, I don't know, how impressive is that to you?
It's unbelievable. I'm 29, so to think the geezer is 2 years older than me, and he's
how he's got there. Like,
it's wild. And do you know what? It's a weird. This might not make any sense, but to me, Brighton, they're perfect together. Yeah, Brighton they seem like a young team in what they're doing, because over the past couple of years, I mean, they've absolutely smashed it. And although they've been around obviously for ages, this new chapter in their story needs a manager like him, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree. And I think they haven't got a squad of like massive egos either and stuff that are necessarily going to cause problems. Obviously, if a coach comes in and he has a terrible first impression, then there's going to be problems. But I don't think they have the type of changing room that would be like a problem for a 31-year-old manager, as long as he proves himself to be someone that knows football. And like you said, it suits their project and the stuff they've been doing for the past few years. It looks like they're very good at finding like the next gem in a sense, in terms of players and coaches.
Anywhere on the pitch.
So
if he went in at United, it's game over.
You can't. It's too big.
Bruno, it's
too big. You've got too many egos, exactly. And then like any sort of like, you drop someone or you make any kind of bold decisions, and straight away you're up against it. The fans are it's long. But at that sort of team where, like, obviously they'll have their internal ambitions, but as a whole, realistically, anything Brighton do above like 15th is probably like a respectable season. As in, like they're not going to, like, their fans can't start shouting he's got to be sacked if they finish 15th. That's all I'm saying. Like, obviously they've done very well recently, and they can finish as high as 7th, 8th with a good season. They are that good. But I'm saying for Brighton as a football club, they haven't got the pressure of, if you're finishing below 10th, like, you've got this, it's a failure. So I think it suits a manager like that, because he'll get time, as long as unless they're fighting relegation, he'll get the time to implement his style and get the players going. So yeah, I think he looks good so far, and we'll see how it goes.
I mean, their results show like, they've not played the best teams, but yeah, that is mainly they look good, and like you say, he'll get the chance to show. And I know we're only 2 games in, but he's already shown it. I think they look good.
Yeah, no, I agree. We'll go on to our predictions. Yeah, just before that though, 2 positions. I think we agree with the starting 11 should be the same as it's been. We'll just talk about left back and left wing.
Yeah.
Okay. Who should start left back? Noah.
So I think Timber's quality. Some points he looked a bit shaky, I think, at the weekend. But I really like him on the ball. Calafiori looked pretty good when he came on. I wouldn't mind either of them starting. I think Timber deserves it more, just because we're 3 games in. Calafiori's brand new signing.
No. Timber's starting for me. No. Ken, who's starting for you at left back?
You can say Zinchenko. Oh, I think you're going to say Zinchenko then.
He likes it. No, but
I don't think Zinchenko no, it's just the way you didn't even mention him.
No,
he don't play for
No, that is disrespectful. No, I like Zinchenko.
Right-footed and Calafiori's basically a centre half.
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll go Timber. And for the left wing position, do you think Trossard's done enough to start? Yeah,
and
it doesn't guarantee you do well when you start.
No, of course not. That's a big difference. Starting a game and coming on is 2 different things.
Is that going to hurt Martinelli's confidence more though? If we're saying it's a confidence thing, surely getting dropped is going to.
Yeah, but that's the business.
That's the business.
Okay.
It's a bit like
because otherwise you got Trossard on the other side.
Arteta, let's say he decides to drop him, has to find other ways to try and build his confidence.
Right.
Like he can't. Let's say he thinks Trossard gives them a better chance at 3 points on Saturday. He can't play Martinelli just because he wants to give him confidence. Like there's 3 points on the line, and at the end of the day, it's a ruthless business. I think if he's happy with what Martinelli's doing, because he could be seeing something different. He could be seeing perhaps the pace he gives us, the outlet he gives us. If he's happy with that, he could just start him and say Trossard just doesn't give us that, but Trossard's so good at if we need a goal, we'll bring him on. And that's a squad game sometimes. Sometimes a manager will literally look at you and think, you're a top player, but for me, you're more influential for us. 20, 25 minutes to go when we need goals. And this is the thing, Martinelli's probably ran the legs off the right back all game, even if he's been completely ineffective. Trossard now comes on and has a job against someone that's depleted.
That's very
it's
true.
a easy task. So these are all the questions the manager will be asking. So I would say Trossard has earned the right to start because I think you can't really do more in terms of a player, in terms of trying to earn your shirt. Like he just keeps coming on and showing that he wants to be a starter, and he doesn't he's not sulking and stuff. He just comes on and does the job on the pitch and goes home. So from that perspective, I'd like to see him start, but I'm not complaining if Martinelli starts again.
Yeah, I'm the same. I, like I said, love Trossard, and as well, I don't think it's a bad thing if Martinelli comes on against tired legs. Martinelli is rapid, and then you're going to come up against, and you're going to come and run up against Lewis Dunk.
Absolutely.
Not a problem for 25 minutes.
And Martinelli's, I don't think he would have the ump if he didn't start because he's not been performing as he has been. So it's not like one of them where I'm playing really well. I'm doing what I'm meant to be doing, and then I'm getting for the next game. It's a completely different mindset. You can't really be angry at the manager.
I think players are built for that. Obviously he's gonna have a little. He's not gonna be pleased about it, and he in his own head, with his ego, he will feel like he deserves to play Saturday regardless. So if he's dropped, he's not going to be thrilled, but he's got to look at that and say, okay, cool, I've got to come off the bench and do something now, and then it just flips back to him. He should. I think we can probably all look at it and say Arteta probably prefers Martinelli than Trossard. Because
he does.
Because I don't think Trossard's ever been allowed to have 3-4 poor games and still be in the team.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Martinelli gets the nod a lot, regardless of performances sometimes.
I've heard in training he's like his levels, Martinelli.
Probably is, I can imagine.
And we know how dangerous he can be. 2 seasons ago, he was a joke.
It's not like he's only he's done it in the league. So he's just got to look at it and say, if he does get dropped, it's not like he prefers Trossard or whatever. It's just form, and he's just got to get back into form. And
he's also 22.
Yeah,
we're not going to sell him in January.
He's not under any of those threats.
He's fine.
Boys, predictions. Okay, all I want is the score and who's scoring. Okay, Noah.
You got last week's right, didn't you?
2-0,
2-0,
yeah. I didn't get the goal scorers, but 2-0.
Take that. Brighton, I'm going to go 3-1. I think it might be. Oh, is it a clean sheet? That's a good, I haven't even thought about this. No, I'm going to go 3-1. I think we'll score a few goals because they can be got out of the back.
Who's scoring?
Saka.
All of them? Yeah.
Hat-trick. No, Saka, Havertz. Let's get Odegaard one as well.
Saka, Havertz, Odegaard.
Yeah.
Okay. And Brighton, we don't worry about who's scoring for them.
Lewis
Ken?
Dunk.
Yeah. Ken, what do you reckon?
I'm going to go 2-0.
2-0 to Arsenal.
2-0 again.
Third 2-0 in a row. Wow.
Like it.
Just because I think we kind of shut up shop and like once we get this, I don't think we're going gung-ho trying to get 3-4. We might concede, but I think we win comfortably, and I don't want to go 3-1 as well.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go 2-0.
Who's scoring?
Havertz.
Yes, I like that.
And Trossard.
Havertz and Trossard.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wow.
I'm going to go 3-1 as well. I'm going to go a goal from the centre halves. One of the centre. Sorry.
Who?
That's a shock. You shocked yourself there.
No, not both. One from a corner. I'll go Gabriel.
Loves a header.
Declan Rice to score, and then I'll go Havertz. Yeah.
You're getting through the team, aren't you?
I think 3-1. Yeah, 3-1 will be good.